Welcome to Thousands Mysteries. This is where we bring you mysterious cases, chilling stories, and unsolved events. If you are passionate about mysteries that have yet to be unraveled, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss our latest videos. Today we will explore one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time, the story of the ghost ship Mary Celeste, a ship found abandoned in the middle of the ocean. Its crew vanished without a trace, and to this day, no one knows what really happened. Let's dive into this haunting tale. On November 7th, 1872, under the gloomy sky of New York Harbor, the Mary Celeste quietly set sail, ready for its voyage across the Atlantic to Genoa, Italy. Captain Benjamin Briggs, a seasoned sailor, stood on the deck, his eyes fixed on the horizon. His wife, Sarah Briggs, held their young daughter, Sophia, in her arms, an unshakable feeling of unease settling in her chest. Before the journey, Briggs had a strange dream in which he saw his ship drifting aimlessly at sea, with no one aboard, its sails fluttering in the cold wind. But he dismissed these ominous signs, believing that this voyage would be just like any other. The first few days at sea were peaceful. The strong ocean winds filled the sails, and waves crashed against the hull. The crew of 7 worked diligently, all of them experienced seafarers. They inspected the cargo hold, which contained 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, a highly volatile shipment sealed tightly. But then, strange occurrences began to unfold. On the night of November 15th, Andrew Gilling, a young sailor, was jolted awake by rhythmic knocking sounds coming from below the deck. The noise was steady, as if someone was walking beneath the cargo hold. He woke up Albert Richardson, the first mate, and the two decided to investigate. When they opened the hatch, they were met with nothing but darkness. The barrels were still in place, undisturbed. Yet for some inexplicable reason, the air was filled with the faint scent of alcohol, despite all the barrels being securely sealed. 3 days later, during the night watch, another sailor, Folkert Lorentzen, saw a shadowy figure standing motionless at the bow. He approached cautiously, but the figure did not move. When he blinked, the shadow was gone. A chilling sense of dread washed over him, but he chose to keep it to himself, fearing that others would think he was imagining things. On November 25th, a fierce storm struck. Heavy rain poured down, and the howling winds carried a biting chill. Waves over 5 meters high relentlessly battered the ship, causing it to rock violently. Inside the captain's cabin, Benjamin Briggs solemnly recorded the events in the ship's log. He wrote, "Severe turbulence, strong winds, the ship remains under control. The crew is exhausted but determined. Sarah and Sophia are in good health. If the storm subsides, we will soon resume our journey to Genoa." These were the last known words from him. No one knows what happened after that. On December 4th, 1872, as the ocean lay eerily calm, the British brig Dei Gratia spotted a vessel adrift near the Azores Islands. It was the Mary Celeste, but there was no sign of life aboard. No distress signals had been sent, and the deck was eerily empty. Captain David Morehouse of the Dei Gratia ordered a small team to row over and investigate. As soon as they stepped aboard, they were met with an unexplainable chill in the air. There were no signs of an attack, yet everything seemed to have been abandoned in a hurry. Inside the captain's cabin, a meal remained untouched on the table. Bread, salted meat, and coffee sat there, as if someone had just stepped away moments earlier. The oil lamp still contained some oil, but had not been lit. Captain Briggs's hat lay on the floor, covered in a thin layer of dust. In the sleeping quarters, Sophia's cradle was still there, but she was gone. Sarah Briggs's neatly folded clothes remained on the bed. An open Bible lay nearby with an underlined passage. The Lord will keep you safe on all your ways. When they inspected the cargo hold, they found that all 1,701 barrels of alcohol were intact. However, a meter-high layer of water covered the floor, enough to dampen the deck, but not enough to sink the ship. The most striking discovery was that the only lifeboat was missing. Another unsettling detail sent shivers down the sailors' spines. The ship's compass was completely off, and all navigational instruments, such as the chronometer and sextant, were missing. It seemed that someone had taken them. But why? And where had they gone? The eerie clues only deepened the mystery. A rusted sword was found in one of the compartments. There were deep scratch marks on the wooden deck, as if someone had desperately tried to hold on but was dragged away. Some planks on the deck appeared warped, as though a powerful force had acted upon them from within. Theories soon emerged. Some believed that the industrial alcohol had leaked, causing toxic fumes or a small explosion that led the crew to abandon ship in panic. But if that were the case, why didn't they return? Others suspected an attack by pirates, but all the cargo and valuables remained untouched. Then, there were the more chilling theories, whispers of supernatural forces, that Mary Celeste had sailed into a cursed region where malevolent spirits dragged the crew to the depths of the ocean. The mystery of Mary Celeste remains unsolved. The ship was later towed to port and eventually sold. However, misfortune followed all who owned it. In the end, in 1885, the Mary Celeste was deliberately run aground on a reef for insurance fraud, bringing its eerie voyage to an end. Yet the questions remain. What truly happened to the crew? How did they vanish without a trace? Will the truth ever be uncovered? To this day, Mary Celeste remains one of the greatest maritime enigmas of all time. A ghost ship adrift in the ocean, carrying whispers of the past and a story without an ending.